Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Hobo here today, and we just got done watching the easier of the two WWE shows to watch every week, and that would be SmackDown. And oh my god, is it so much better to not have to sit through 3 hours? And I don't really understand why it is. It shouldn't really be. Like, they should be able to pack enough stuff into 3 hours on Raw to keep me interested, but I guess not. But let's get right into this SmackDown review. We got a recap of Talking Smack last week with The Miz absolutely destroying Daniel Bryan verbally. And then we see Shane and Daniel Bryan backstage. They're watching that segment. Shane says to Daniel Bryan not to get in the talent's face anymore. And Bryan goes, you know, it's ironic coming from the guy who has beef with Brock Lesnar. Shane just kind of looks at him like, God damn it, he's got me. That was pretty funny. Miz comes out. He cuts a extremely fiery promo. Miz, man, he's got to be the second best on the SmackDown roster in terms of overall, just overall performance behind AJ Styles. It's AJ and then Miz, and then I don't really know who you would put at 3. There's a huge drop off once you go to your AJ Miz drop off. And I have no clue who would take that 3rd spot. But our favorite jobber here on SmackDown Live comes out and interrupts The Miz. And I don't remember what happened after that. Oh, Jobber challenged Miz and called him a coward and said, if you're really not a coward, fight me right now. No match, just fight me. Miz was teasing it, and then he just left. And Jobber called him a coward, which for some reason sent Miz off, and Miz tried to get back into the ring, and Maurice was like, no, don't do it, he hasn't earned it, he doesn't deserve you, he doesn't deserve to face you right now, which makes sense, he doesn't, he's a jobber. He did all those jobs to Baron Corbin, and then he lost at SummerSlam. He only won that 6-pack challenge to be the number 1 contender because there was 5 other guys that were beating the hell out of each other. Fact. Alright, so let's keep going here. The Hype Bros versus the Vaudevillains. Zack Ryder pins Aiden English after a Hype Ryder. Whatever. Just to advance the Hype Bros into the tournament so they can lose, because I don't anticipate them going to the finals. No, sir. We get AJ Styles and Apollo Crews backstage, and AJ was like, I don't know your name. Apollo Crews was like, my name is Apollo, Crews. And this was a running thing throughout the show that like AJ Styles can't spell, or he was spelling stuff, whatever. I don't know. It's kind of lame. Somebody get the face that runs the place, AJ Styles, because that's how they're announcing him now. The face that runs the place, AJ Styles. He cuts a promo in the ring. Apollo Crews interrupts. Apollo Crews says that Daniel Bryan has granted Apollo a match with AJ. Then they have a good match, a really solid match here on SmackDown. But I think obviously AJ beats him with a phenomenal forearm, which is the undoubtedly correct outcome. If Apollo had won under any circumstances, it would have been a sham, because AJ's getting built up so much. And I do hope in 2 weeks' time that he beats our good friend Dean Ambrose for the WWE World title. Renee Young goes to Heath Slater's house. Oh my lord, this segment was hilarious. Heath invites Renee inside, and they're walking into the kitchen, and they see Rhino looking out the window, and Heath hugs his wife, and his wife's like a stereotypical Southern mother, and Heath lives in a single wide trailer. He's like, you know, I want to win the tag team title so I can upgrade to a double wide. He was calling his wife the Martha Stewart of the South, and she had cheese, like spray cheese, crackers, and little sausage looking things on a paper plate. And Rhino kept picking up the little crackers, and he was spraying cheese on the crackers and eating them the whole time. It was fantastic. Rhino Rhino's doing some of the funniest stuff of his career. Some of the best too. I think arguably Rhino and Heath are on their game with this stuff. Especially Heath. Heath's really knocking it out of the park. Bray Wyatt comes out after that segment. Randy Orton interrupts. Randy accepts Bray's challenge for Backlash. Good. Randy goes to attack Bray Wyatt, and then the little bumper thing that Bray Wyatt does where it's like, that. I don't even know. But they do that, and the lights go off, and that's that. We come back from a commercial. Nikki Bella's at commentary. Natalya and Alexa Bliss will face Naomi and Becky Lynch. Carmella attacks Nikki at ringside, which distracts Becky and allows Alexa Bliss to get the roll-up. Don't know why that would even affect Becky Lynch, because I guess Becky's friends with her. Becky and Naomi are friends with Nikki Bella, but nobody really told us that. I think Morrow might have mentioned it in passing once, but that was about it. So that was kind of dumb. The Headbangers return to face Heath Slater and Rhino. Pretty cool, because that's the first ever Headbangers match I've watched live. I've only watched some of their old stuff from the Attitude Era. So this is actually pretty cool to watch the Headbangers face any tag team, really, live. Like, that was just a cool moment for me. Rhino gets busted wide open over his eye, and he wins with the gore. He spilled some of his blood on Heath's chest, which is how you know that, he's really cut, and it looked like it was the hard way. So that was pretty nasty, especially after we got the Orton stuff. It wasn't nearly as bad as the Orton stuff at SummerSlam, but he still bled a little bit, it's always cool to see some blood, especially when it's used correctly. But that wasn't used for an angle or anything. It was just there to be it was just there because it happened, really. It wasn't an angle or anything. Then we get AJ Styles at commentary. A milkman dude's in the ring saying that he has a license to compete and won't leave until somebody comes out to face him, which brings out the Demon King, the Demon Kane, to face this milkman dude or whatever. Kane just choke slams him and leaves. Ooh, fantastic. Don't know what in the hell the purpose of that was. So stupid. Baron Corbin versus Dean Ambrose. First time ever. This was a pretty good match. Went a couple minutes. AJ gets off commentary, goes over to Baron Corbin, says to stay on Ambrose. Baron Corbin turns around, gets in his face, and says, nobody tells me what to do. And Ambrose hits Corbin. Corbin knocks AJ down. They get in the ring, and some nonsense happened where AJ hit Baron Corbin and got Ambrose disqualified or something along those lines. I don't know what the hell happened. I think that's what happened. Couldn't really pay attention. It was kind of all over the place. And I think Kevin Dunn wasn't on his A game when it came to the camera angles either. The bucktooth idiot. God damn it, I hate Kevin Dunn. Whatever. And then AJ gets up on the rope and he's about to hit the phenomenal forearm on Ambrose, and Ambrose hits his leg. And AJ, you know that moment when a wrestler will fall on top of the ropes and they'll land on their crotch. And I think Mauro even said AJ gets crotched by Ambrose or something along those lines. And AJ's sitting there and he's just screaming in pain. It was so hilarious. I could not help but burst out in laughter. And yeah, you know what? I'm gonna review Talking Smack here. I watched Talking Smack just to see if we were going to have anything close to the levels of Miz, Daniel Bryan from last week, but we get Bryan talking about the fact that he has an announcement to make, and that will be Miz versus our favorite jobber at Backlash for the Intercontinental Championship. Heath and Rhino appear. A really cringe-worthy but funny as hell segment took place. Rhino, he was just saying things underneath his breath the whole time, and he wasn't looking at anybody. He was just looking at the table. It was hilarious. Like I told you guys earlier, they're doing some of the funnest stuff in their careers, and these guys they're nailing it every single night they go out. And just a quick side note: for some reason, there was a baby outside where I live just crying. And it didn't even sound like there were any parents or adults out there. This baby was just crying for no reason. I don't know what the hell was going on with that, but that was stupid. That was dumb. AJ comes out to be the next and final guest, and AJ's still selling the crotch, which hilarious. AJ's great, I tell you. Bryan actually, he says they were talking about AJ's children, and Bryan says, but before they started talking about his children, Daniel Bryan says, what's it like for you to go from working in Japan to working in TNA to working in WWE? He actually name drops TNA. And I could tell right at that moment, somebody was in his ear like, God damn it, what did you just say? Why would you name drop TNA? And you could tell because they start talking a little bit more, and Bryan, he says, what is it like for your oldest, or what is it like for your children when they tell their friends, my dad wrestled in Japan, and Bryan keeps looking off, like he was looking at AJ's eyes, and he just kept looking off, like into the distance, and I guarantee you somebody was looking at him like, do not drop TNA again, or I swear to God, I will punch you in the face. Daniel Bryan looked kind of scared. And just to conclude that whole thing, AJ's like, my children would be like, my dad wrestles in Japan, and their friends would be like, oh yeah. And then now it's like, oh, my dad wrestles in the WWE. Whoa, that's cool. AJ's such a cool guy. Like, I want to have a conversation with AJ Styles about anything. Like, I could talk to AJ Styles about a zoo and probably be entertained, and probably have a half an hour conversation with him. I don't know. Maybe I'd have a zoo conversation about with Kevin Owens, because he's a zoo enthusiast, panda enthusiast. Decisions. Well, guys, that's going to do it for the SmackDown and Talking Smack reviews for this week. Pretty fun. Let me give my final review on SmackDown as a whole. I got to give it a 7.5. Better than Raw. Overall, better than Raw. But, like I said yesterday in that closing segment, go watch the Raw review and you'll see why it only got a 6.5. It would have gotten more if it wasn't for the main event. Go watch that and find out why. So, yeah, that's going to do it here for the SmackDown review. I hope that you guys enjoyed. Please remember to leave a like and a comment down below on your thoughts. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button. And that's going to do it for me, your boy Hobo, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.